Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet. Madden 16 Green Bay Packers Packer Talk here. This is episode 4, and we're getting ready here for the Week 17 matchup here against the Minnesota Vikings. There you see Vikings 11-4 for the season. Currently, we are 15-0 and getting ready for the last game of the season. So, this episode of Packer Talk this week, we're going to show you, as usual, the stats and scores of the previous 4 weeks. We're going to look at weeks 13 through 16 and show you guys the stats and what was going on in those games. And also, this week we're going to show you guys, as always, a preview of what we have in store for the next week's game. But also, this week, getting ready for talk about the playoffs and what possibly teams we could be facing here for the playoffs. Which will be coming up here, and as we have a bye here coming up after this Week 17 matchup against the Vikings. We'll have wildcard weekend there, and then from there we'll find out for the divisional round who will play. And not to mention, as I promised you guys, we'll show you guys what our draft board looks like as we're getting ready for, of course, the NFL draft after this season. I have to try to reload this team and see what we can do here for next season. So, a lot to talk about this week as you guys are taking a look here at the stats here. And what a week, or last 4 weeks, it's been for the Green Bay Packers here. Had quite a few close calls there in a lot of these games here. But we'll take a look back at week 13 as that was a game there as we took on, I believe, the Lions there. You guys looking at the, it's the Lions. So that was a Thursday night game. We won that one 31-7, and really truly I thought it was going to be just like the previous matchup that we had there back in week 10 against them, but this time it was their second string quarterback that was in there, and Matthew Stafford was of course still out and was unable to play. So the defense there, of course, at first was like we were playing, again, same kind of defense we had when we played them the first time around, but it just kind of unraveled after the towards the mid half of the second quarter there, and the Packers just pretty much took over the game and dominated the Lions there in that game. So now we'll go ahead and move on to the Week 14 matchup. Of course, it was against the Cowboys there at home, and we hosted the Cowboys in that Week 14 there, as Aaron Rodgers was 21 of 35, 356 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions there. He did have a rough week that week. But Eddie Lacy, he had 2 touchdowns, 15 carries for 65 yards there. Randall Cobb had 2 touchdowns, 122 yards, and had 7 receptions in that game. Richard Rodgers, 6 receptions, 149 yards in the game. Trying to get him the ball when we were in the end zone, but they were just not having it. They were shutting him down. And so we had to find other ways to get the ball in the end zone, as we were in the end zone in the red zone there quite a few times there scoring. So Richard Rodgers didn't have the game, well, I mean, he had the yardage and everything, but just didn't have the touchdowns that we wanted him to have. There was quite a few times he had touchdowns, but they were just dropped or they were batted away, and he couldn't hold on to the ball. So that was a rough week for him and for Rodgers there. Of course, Rodgers did throw those 2 picks there. And again, that game was one of those games that went kind of back and forth. Though finally, in the overtime, we had a chance there to score there, and we did, and we were able to get the touchdown there to win the ball game. A final score of 27-21, and like I said, it was a nail biter there. Really thought that that was going to be the week that the Cowboys were going to be the team that was going to be able to put away the Green Bay Packers, but unfortunately, favored in the Packers situation here, and the Packers pretty much, honestly, they all agree they got lucky that week as they were able to score there. So a nice game overall, especially on defense. Julius Peppers, the veteran there, 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and a half a sack. You also had, I believe, Clayton Dixon. He had 16 tackles that game, and I tell you guys, he was just everywhere on that field there in that ball game. So now we'll go take a look at Week 15 here. You guys are still looking at the stats from these games. But there you see the stats here from the game here against the Raiders in Week 15 there in Oakland at the O.co Coliseum there. And we won that game with the final score of 38-31. Again, another nail-biter here, as the Raiders defense really did a great job here forcing to put pressure on Rodgers. But nonetheless, Rodgers was able to get 3 touchdowns in that game, 266 yards, and he was 13 of 18 in that ball game there. Eddie Lacy getting close to the century mark there with 96 yards with 18 carries and 1 touchdown. Randall Cobb, 4 receptions, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. Jones, 4 receptions, 77 yards, and Richard Rodgers, 5 receptions, 73 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He was actually able to get in the end zone twice there in that ball game. But yeah, overall, it was a really good. The Raiders had 2 good straight possessions there in that first quarter alone. They scored twice in the first quarter there until finally the Green Bay Packers were finally figuring out what they were doing there on offense, and were able to stop them and put them in check there. But Clayton Dixon had 10 tackles in that ball game there. And, of course, we got Burnett, who had that touchdown, that pick 6 that went that he took all the way back home to get the touchdown there. So great job there for defense to really stepping up there that week to score. So now we'll go ahead and go to Week 16. The episode you guys seen here just not too long ago. And that was a really good game there, as the Cardinals really surprised. I thought teams that had a losing record against us this year really had good games against us, and I was really looking forward to that. I thought it was going to really be a good back and forth game, as you got a team that's not really going after anything, as with a 6-8 record, not really going to the playoffs, and really don't have nothing to look forward to for the postseason, as their season's pretty much already over with. But that was not to be said, as they just had a tough time getting off the starting blocks there. Rodgers, 14 of 21, 225 yards in that game, 2 touchdowns. Lacy, 30 carries, over the century mark, 109 yards with 1 touchdown. John Kuhn, 3 carries, 5 yards, 1 touchdown, and John Starks there, carry, 1 yard, and a touchdown there. So a really good day there on the ground there for them. In the air, Randall Cobb, 5 receptions, 101 yards, and 1 touchdown, and James Jones, 7 receptions, 97 yards, and 1 touchdown. Of course, a lot of people are asking us here as a late about Jordy Nelson, and honestly, I don't really understand. Can he return from the IR? Yes. Is he hurt? No. Is he healed? Yes. But I just don't know how. If you guys can let me know in the comment section how I can change that, how to bring him back, because right now we love having him back. Of course, he's enjoying the life right now with his family, and of course doing some substitute teaching there for his son there at the local school that he's in. So we'll have to see if Jordy was willing to, if we can tear him away from being a teacher for the moment there, and which is a good thing, but have him come back here and try to win a Super Bowl for us here and bring the title back to Titletown. So take a look here at the NFL standings right now, and there you see the Chiefs are right now the top team in the AFC with a 13-3 record right now. And there you see right now, of course, if the season ended today, the Bills would get the number 1 pick overall there with a 2-12 record. As for us, 15-0 right now, and there you see some of the standings right now in the NFC, as we're the top team in the NFC. Bottom team right now are the Bucks there. You see 4-11 there for the season. So now we'll take a look at each division here. As we take a look at the AFC North, you got the Steelers, Bengals, Ravens, and Browns. Steelers and Bengals are currently now tied at 9-6 there, and one of those two teams is going to be looking outside looking in. As you got the Colts there in the the AFC South with 11-4 there. There you see there they pretty much have that division there for themselves. As for the AFC East, you got the, of course, Patriots there 10-5, and there you see you got the Dolphins, Jets, and Bills leading rounding out the bottom of the division. On the AFC West, there you see the Chiefs 13-2, Chargers 10-5. They're really surprised about that team right there, as the Broncos are 4-11 and the Raiders are 3-12. So Chiefs looking pretty good right now, one of the hot teams right now in the AFC. In the NFC, there you see us 15-0. We have not lost a game. We've had quite a few close games there that we could have lost, but nonetheless, we've found a way to win those games there and keep moving on. Vikings 11-4, of course, Bears and Lions both at 7-8. In the NFC South, we got the Saints there 11-4. They've clinched their division, as the Panthers and Falcons both 8-7, and of course the Bucks 11-4, one of the worst teams right now in the NFC. In the NFC East, you got the Eagles, the Giants, and Cowboys and Redskins. Of course, Eagles 12-13. Not like we have in real life right now, where it was just no one wanted that division there, as they were all pretty much playing horribly. Of course, the Redskins took that division there in real life, but this one not so much the luck there. But then in NFC West, you got the Seahawks 8-7, Cardinals 6-9, Rams 5-10, and the 49ers just looking not like the 49ers, 4-11. So we'll take a look here at some of the top players for the last 4 weeks here. In Week 13, you got Bradford and McLean represent the defense there. Cam Newton and there for the offense, NFC offense. Roethlisberger there for the AFC offense there, with some of the awards there in Week 14. But overall, we'll take a look here. There you see Aaron Rodgers there, NFC Offensive Player of the Week there. So congratulations to him on that, as that was a big game there. 13-18, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 sack there. And that Week 15 matchup there, of course, it was against the Raiders there. So, and then we'll take a look here at Week 16, and there you see some of the players there. Hopefully your favorite player is on those lists there for AFC and NFC players of the week. So overall, so far these last 4 weeks here have been pretty good, with the only one kind of nerve-wracking. Of course, it was the Cowboys game there when we were in overtime. So now we're going to take a look at some of the guys that we've been looking at here on our draft board. And of course, on offense right now, we're kind of worried about our tight ends. We're looking at a couple of tight ends here. There's a few here that we are looking at, possible late second round here. And of course, I'm the type of person I like to wheel and deal, and we'll have to see what we can do here. We'll try to see if we can move ourselves up or down on the board here to get these guys here in those respective rounds there, or maybe even just depending on how they fall or where they land out here on the draft. So we're gonna kind of move around our picks here, as we are going to try to do some trades with some teams here to see on certain positions here that we're looking for. So really truly, it's I didn't do so much offensive looking here, as we do need our areas that we have, or we need to get strong in, is our tight end, our left tackle, and our right tackle. I did look at some guys there on those 3 positions there on offense, but really truly we're looking at defense. We got to boost up that defense, get it better, and see what we can do with it. But there you see some of the Zach Taylor there, Boston College, a pretty good player there. I like what he has so far, especially with that impact blocking there. We got to get that running blocking up some, but overall he looks like a pretty good player that we can utilize there as a 5th round guy. There you see right tackle there, great running block, great pass block, and great impact blocking. You don't see that too often, especially in Madden games when it comes to the offensive line. Again, great skills there from Russell Scott Riles there for the right tackle there from Alabama, and just absolutely just great guys that I would like to go after here in the draft. There you see Nick Bryan again from Miami. Great guy, 6'6", 313. Looks like a kid that can do some really good job there of protecting Aaron Rodgers. And again, some other offensive linemen there that we're taking a look at here for the upcoming off season here. So again, like I said, didn't do too much recruiting here or scouting for the offense, because I feel really good, confident with offense. I mean, like I said, tight end position needs to get a little bit better here. We got, of course, Richard Rodgers. He'll be around for a while, but for the time being, depending on with some of those tight ends, if they are on the board there and they're in a good position for us to draft them, then we'll draft them. But for the most part, the draft is going to be a lot of defensive guys, as you'll see here in just a bit. What areas we have to work on when it comes to the defense there. But I'm always asking you guys for suggestions or things that you guys can help me out with and stuff like that. So let me know if there's a player on here that I'm showing right now that you think I should go after on the for the draft and whatnot. Of course, that's still a long ways to go. But if there's anything on there, or if there's a player that you think we should go after in free agency after this first season here, that we should go after, it'll be a great fit for us. Let me know down below in the comment section who you guys think I should go after when it comes to free agency, or just some of the, if you see any of these names right here that you guys think we should go after. Now, defense here, like I said, we're looking at left ends, looking at defensive tackles and safeties, and those are the areas we're looking at right now. Was kind of concerned with our corners, but I think for right now our corners are doing pretty well here. Don't get me wrong. If there is a corner out there that we think we should go after, we'll try to go after them and take them off the board and whatnot. But for right now, the areas that we're looking at right now is really trying to get a defensive line going. As got B.J. Raji. He's getting on the tail end of his career here, and we got to try to. I want to move to a. Right now we're a 3-4, but I kind of thinking about going back to a 4-3. But it just depends on what guys we can find here with like this guy right here with a base 3-4 there. And of course he's a nose tackle right there. So we're looking for a guy that can just get through the line, swim through there, and go after these quarterbacks and see what they can do. When it comes to defensively, they can go after the quarterback, shed the tackle or shed the blocks and shed the tackles there, or shed the blocks there, and go and get the tackle there on the quarterback. That's what we want to do. We want to put pressure on that quarterback and on that offensive line as much as possible, and that's what I love to do. I love putting pressure on that on the O line there. So there you see Jarvis King, another guy we're looking at right now, a mid-second round guy, and like I said, a guy that we just want to try to, if we can, if he's on the board and he's available, go after him but still got to do enough for recruiting here. We got combine coming up here after the Super Bowl and all that type of stuff. So like I said, these are just some of the areas. So these are the three main areas that we're going to try and work on here when it comes to defense. Defense. Defense helps you win championships, and you can we got quite a bit of money coming back for us here in the off season here, so we can do a lot here on our defense here. Offense right now, I feel very confident with, of course, the way we've been winning here as of late. It's just that defense got to help us out here, and so we can keep our offense on the field here as much as possible. So like I said, there's some pretty good guys out there that we've been recruiting here, and looking at them and see what they can do here for us here in the NFL. So, like I said, this was going to be an episode that I'm not going to get into too much of these guys and what they can do and whatnot. You guys can pretty much see that on the screen here. But just for the most part, this is some of the positions and some of the guys we're currently looking at right now for this upcoming season, and scouting even more when we get to the combine and whatnot, and see really what they can do here. As these are just the top 3 skills. Of course, there's other skills that we have to look at when it comes to recruiting and see what we can do, and see if their talent is going to help us out in the long run here as we get ready for this upcoming season. So, still got quite a bit of football still left to come. As we still got week 17 here coming up, and of course we got a bye week. We're not going to be playing the wild card game, but we will be playing in the divisional round. We'll see who will play there. Here in the next couple of weeks. So, excuse me, a lot of crazy things going to have to come about here as we get ready here for the postseason here coming up. But again, looking at some of these safeties here, and that's that's one big concern we have right now is the safeties. We don't want to get there's been quite a few times this season we've getting beat deep and had the ball thrown on top of us and stuff, and that we cannot let that happen. So that is it for this episode, you guys, of Packer Talk. Again, if you guys have any ideas or any suggestions that will be helpful and useful for the team for the upcoming offseason here, let me know. Leave your comments down below in the comment section, and I'm always willing to take suggestions. So thank you guys so much. But again, thank you guys for watching Packer Talk here as we get ready for Week 17, which will be coming up here very soon here. Got the 11-4 Vikings going against the 15-0 Green Bay Packers. The undefeated streak is on the line. Can the Green Bay Packers go undefeated here in Week 17? Well, you have to find out. Tune in and find out and see if that will be the case. But that is it for me, you guys. If you guys, again, enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and check out the channel for more Green Bay Packers, Packer Talk, and Green Bay Packers franchise here on ESGNet. As always, keep yourselves healthy, and I will see you guys next time.